can go very far.
Go on, Kevin, baby!
Kevin always said, in fact, that it was his dream to work in a factory where the Yu-Gi-Oh cards are made.
That's right, Kevin, baby!
Master Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But now, Kevin, who's sitting right in front of me, is going into the Air Force.
Come on, Kevin!
And along with Kevin going into the Air Force, my buddy Colton has successfully overcame cancer and is currently about to be studying to be a pediatric nurse.
That's right, Colton!
This just goes to show how mentally things can change in just a few years. From this point on, all of our lives are going to a million different directions, which brings me to an appropriate quote by an inspirational thinker named Bob Marley.
That's right, Lord!
Every man's got the right to decide his own destiny. In other words, it's up to each and every one of us to choose where we go from now on. And I wish every single one of you the best of luck with your future. I love and I will miss you all very much. I would like to also thank my father for always being there and being an amazing influence. I love you, Dad.
Come on, Dad! Go, Dad!
And I would also like to thank every single teacher who's been there and touched my heart. We have some amazing teachers at Venus High School, and I love every single one of them. I can't even begin to explain how much I love Coach Hatridge and Coach Ray, or even Coach Perkins, who hopefully is in the stands somewhere. But she has really touched my life immensely. Miss Bryant, Miss Milburn, everybody. And I would also like to thank all my friends who's always been there. There's too many to name. I don't have enough breath to sit up here and name all 93 of y'all. But, I mean, like Jamie, Opie, Fernie, Trey, Luke, Claudia, Araceli, I mean, Jennifer, every single one of y'all has just touched my life so much, and I just want to thank every single one of y'all. And now I would like to introduce our wonderful commencement speaker, Mr. White.
Come on, Lord!
Laura, that was an excellent job. Also, Abraham and Tara, that was an excellent job. Y'all gonna make this tough. Follow that act. Good evening, seniors of 2010. Hopefully, all of you seniors know who I am, or at least maybe you've heard of me. But for everyone else here tonight, I feel I need to introduce myself and give you a little bit of my background. My name is Robert White, and for the last 10 Venus High School graduations, I've stood on this stage as the high school principal. Last spring, after 31 years in the field of education, I decided it was time to do something different. I then made the difficult decision to give up my principalship here at VHS and explore some different avenues of employment, which would still enable me to be in the education field. I was then fortunate to have been given the opportunity by Mr. Matthews, our superintendent, and our board of trustees to continue employment for the district in which I live and love on a part-time basis as the district attendance officer. Now, for those of you interested, that is just a fancy name for truant officer. So now, instead of being in charge of the high school for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'm only in charge of getting you to school every single day. So every morning, my first job was to go into my office and pull up the attendance rolls for Venus High School. I always started with the seniors. There was a big U by several of your names every morning. And I would call your house. I would call your cell phone. There were even times I went and knocked on your door to find out why you weren't at school. And there were a few of you that after a couple of weeks of calling, I knew you were on your way. You were just running late. Trinity would blame it on Luke. Luke would blame it on Trinity. But I knew they were on their way and they would be there in a short time. So the big U by their name always turned into a big T, okay? And students, for your information, that T did not stand for timely, okay? That T stood for being late. So there's several of you in this class. As you go into the workforce, you're going to need to find you a job that starts in the afternoon. Whatever it is, find a job that starts in the afternoon. So what an honor it was when Miss Ray, your senior sponsor, called and told me that I'd been selected to give the commencement speech for the class of 2010 and asked me if I would accept. I've been asked several times by previous classes to give the commencement speech, but I always had an excuse. I was a high school principal.
You was tardy.
I couldn't do the commencement speech. Like Mr. Driver's responsibilities, I had to make sure the stage was set up, the sound system worked. I had to make sure